I wanted to apologize in advance. I have three rescue dogs and they're right outside that door. So there might be some barking.
I have the same I'm not at my house at the moment, but I have the same problem at my house. The dogs are going crazy.
Well, it's good to see you, Oli Sykes, Bring Me the Horizon. And you guys just released that new album like around Halloween last year, which was so needed. Now, a lot of bands were really concerned about dropping new music during the pandemic and stuff. Did you guys have any reservations before you released the new album?
To be honest, we had some reservations about some of the music at first because I don't know if you read or heard it, but like, I said in a lot of interviews in the past how just like much the stuff I was writing about mirrored what was unfolding in the world. Like I had this song called Parasite Eve, which was about, like my fear that in the future kind of a virus or, a man-made, event's going to take over and, this is going to be our future basically. And I wrote this like almost a year before the pandemic started in terms of the lyrics anyway. It was actually inspired by something completely different about this fungus that was like killing people in Japan, and like it was saying about how climate change was the reason for like this new phenomenon and all this stuff, and it was really freaking me out. And that's when I started writing about it. So we was writing this song as coronavirus started to come out, and at first everyone was like, it's not a big deal, it's nothing to worry about. So but as time went on, just the song started to take on more and more meaning, and it got to the point where it was like, can we actually release this song? This might be offensive, people are dying and people are losing loved ones and stuff, and maybe this is too real. Do you know what I mean? So there was a moment where we was like thinking about putting a certain song on hold, and then after a while it kind of started to realize that people really need music right now, and people definitely need to, some people deal with situations like this in escapism, watching Netflix or drinking or whatever, but some people need to deal with the situation head on. And I think music's, obviously one of the most cathartic ways of doing that. So we realized that, we have to release this music, and people need music right now. Like people need a form of escapism and also a way to process stuff. And, rock bands in general are, so used to getting into the studio and doing everything old school and stuff. And where, the way we developed our songwriting meant it was possible for us to do it all remotely over computers. And, so just felt like a good thing. It kept us sane, that's for sure. It kept us, like our mental stability in check. So it's been really exciting. It's, it comes with its own set of difficulties writing remotely and stuff, but it's been a nice challenge, and it's definitely been different. And, I think with that record, it's like, it's just so reflective of that kind of all 2020 that record had to be made without any of us actually seeing each other in real life. It's just like, I think that's when we remember that record in 10 years, it'll be like, that's the record we made without actually being in the same room.
Did you guys have the title? Did you have the post-human title like before you released Parasite Eve and all that stuff? So you even had all that before the pandemic started, or did that come after?
Name Post-Human came way before. It was actually, I always had this vision that the next record we did was going to be called Post-Human. When I came up with it at first, I was still thinking like, we're going to release an album and not like a set of EPs. But I had this idea for Post-Human, and kind of the concept for the next record being about like, how we need to evolve. Like, we've kind of, man has done a lot of things in its time, and one thing is it stepped out of the food chain. You know what I mean? Like, we're no longer, if we were in nature, we would not be at the top of the food chain. We'd be somewhere in the middle. And we've just stepped out of the food chain, and it's no longer survival of the fittest, it's survival of the richest. So we've done a lot of things, basically, is my point. So if we can, if we can evolve out of a food chain, we can evolve to make our world, a better place, and we can, we can do what we're doing much better. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the things we've done over the last 50 years or whatever, we just did them. We just wondered if we could. We never stopped thinking if we should. Do you know what I mean? Like things like plastic and stuff, amazing invention, but like back in this 50s, 60s or whatever, when it started to happen, no one thought this is going to be a real problem in 50 years, 40 years or whatever. So that was always the idea, is like, on a mental level and emotional level, like how do we start to change ourselves? So that was always the kind of that was always what I had in mind for the next record. But it was not till last year that the idea for it to be EPs and split, and do you know what I mean? I think as the pandemic started to unfold, it were like, well, we're not going to be going and playing any shows anytime soon, so maybe this would be a cool time to do something experimental with our music. And like, I've spoke a lot about wanting to change it up, from just doing the normal album kind of album tour cycle. So it just felt like the perfect time to kind of get creative and do something different.
Talk about teardrops and this elephant sound. How did you you slid an elephant in there somehow? You had to kind of fight the rest of the guys in the band to even get it on the album. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, I have a lot of stupid ideas. I have a lot of ideas. So like, it was just one of those things. It was just I heard it's like they use a lot of things. I remember in Jurassic Park and stuff, to make the Tyrannosaurus Rex sound, they use like fucking baby elephants and a mixture of all these animals, and they made this really, really cool sound. And it was just like, came from that idea as like it's such a powerful sound. There must be a way that we can have it in our music and it sound, it has that same effect, that it kind of sends chills through your thing. So it was just a random idea that actually made the cut.
Talk a little bit about the tour. You have something coming up in the UK in the fall. How are you guys kind of thinking about, hopefully by then pandemic will be a little bit less of a thing with vaccines and all that stuff, but how are you guys preparing for your fall? Now that's just in the UK for now, is that right?
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about it, me and Jordan earlier, actually, like emotion is going to be when we first step back on stage. Like in all honesty, it just feels like a dream, you know what I mean? It just like, with the way everything is now, it's like, really, we're going to be on stage in September in front of like 15,000 people playing shows? It just seems like unimaginable. But I mean, feels like it's going to happen in England. Everything's going right, and like, unless some kind of horrible mutation of the virus comes out, but it's feeling pretty good. So but still at the moment we're just focusing on music, and as we get to like July, August, and if it's like, yeah, this is definitely going to happen, then we'll get, we're thinking of production and everything now. We're going ahead as if it's happening, because it feels like it's going to happen. But I think once it gets to like July, August, like, all right, now we need to actually, because like I said, we made this last record in isolation, so none of the band have even played the songs. We've not even ever played the song together, which is pretty fucking crazy.
That's going to be really cool though, and I feel like you guys are going to have this pent up energy, because it's like you said, it just feels like a dream. Everybody's just kind of been in this bubble for a while. When you guys get out, it's going to be intense. And you've already started working on the music then, because the series for Post-Human Survival Horror, you've got a series going on, and you've already started working on some of the music for the continuation of the series. Is that right?
Yeah. Working on it right now. Like, we've been working on it today. We work on it nearly every day, to be honest. So it's we're like, I think as the first record, like the whole idea of doing the remote shit was really fun and different and like exciting, and like, can we do this? Oh my god, we can do it, it's possible. Whereas now it's a little like, oh, it'd be nice to be in a room together making music, you know what I mean? Which is not possible. So it's a little slower. I'm in Brazil at the moment, whereas like the rest of my band are in England, so there's a time difference. But it's going, like, we're getting some really cool stuff, and we've got this idea to like not release everything chronologically, but rather than like you might hear a song off EP2, then we might show you a song off EP3 or 4 or both before the whole of EP2 comes out. So you can actually hear like, because every record is going to have a much different sound. So we're going to like, the plan is to show you everyone like what each record's going to sound like before we actually release any more records.
I like that plan. I like just having new music sprung on me, and especially from a band like Bring Me the Horizon. Oli Sykes, the latest album released in the horrible year of 2020, but on Halloween, which was really nice. Post-human survival horror. Look forward to seeing you on stage, whether we're in pods or bubbles, I don't know. But let's hope it's free in the fresh air. And we look forward to hearing some more of your new music. Oli Sykes, Bring Me the Horizon. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's nice one.
Stay healthy. Thank you.